Problem 1. Convert 1/4 and 2/5 to decimals. So we're going to start with 1/4. One way we can look at this is in terms of a pie chart. So if we draw a little pie, and then if we separate it into 4 segments, 1/4 represents one of these segments. And so when we're asking how we can convert this to a decimal, we just need to look at this and say, okay, this takes up 25% of the chart, right? It takes up 1/4. So 25% can be rewritten as 25 over 100. 25%, that's what that means, 25 out of 100. And this is equivalent to 0.25. So 0.25 is the same as 1/4. So when we're dealing with 2/5, we want to think, how can we convert this into a decimal format? And one thing we can say is 2/5. This is the same thing as 4 over 10, right? And we could have done the same method with the first problem, but I'm kind of just showing you different ways of thinking about this, right? So 2/5 is the same. 2/5 is the same thing as 4/10, and that's because this is simply multiplying by 2 divided by 2. And if we take this, right, 4 divided by 10 is 0.4. So 2/5 is the same as 0.4, and so we see that solution 1 is the correct answer. So question 2, find the value of y if 7/8 is equal to y over 24. So if we have 7/8 equal to y over 24, we could solve this like an equation. We could solve this like an equation, but we could also just notice that 8 is a factor of 24. So if we multiply 8 times 3, we will get 24. So maybe I'll show you how to solve this kind of equation in a minute. But if we just multiply the top and the bottom of this fraction, 7/8 by 3, we're going to get 24 on the bottom. And so 3 times 7 is 21, over 3 times 8 is 24, and this is equal to y over 24. Since 21 over 24 is equal to y over 24, 21 must correspond to y, so we know that y is equal to 21 in this case. Now, if we wanted to solve this equation, what we would simply do is take 7/8 is equal to y over 24, and now we multiply both sides by 24. These terms cancel out, and we're left with 24 times 7 over 8 is equal to y. And now it's just a matter of simplifying this. So we know that 8 goes into 24, and so 8 goes into 24 3 times, so we end up with, we can divide 8 out from the top and the bottom, and we end up with 3 times 7 is equal to y. And so 3 times 7 is 21, so we have 21 equals y, which you'll notice is the same answer as we got up here. Okay, find the value of 0.75 minus 0.4. So one thing we can do to solve this equation is we can convert it to whole numbers if we want to. And we can do that by just we can multiply these two decimals by 100. And doing so, we would move the decimal place over 2 spaces. So we would end up with 75 minus 40. And then at the end, we could simply divide by 100 again. And this would get us back into decimal form, the same form we're in here. By the way, these are not the correct answers for this. So we're going to multiply both of these by 100, and now we're simply going to minus 75 minus 40. Well, 75 minus 40 is simply 35. And now in order to get it back into decimal form, we have to divide this by 100, right? Because we multiplied by 100 to begin with. So 35 divided, or 35 divided by 100, we just move the decimal place over 2 spaces, and we end up with 0.35. So this is one way you can make it a little bit easier for you if you have decimal places up to 2. you can make this process a little bit easier by just multiplying by 100 to start with and then dividing by 100 later on at the end of your problem. So we get 0.35.